Hello and welcome to my canine build part 2. In part 1 we've looked at the body, got fiberglass body, so had that all cut out and then all sprayed up. So that was part 1. Part 2 of the project is making it radio controlled. I've got a radio controlled car here which I'll be using for parts, and then this is the base of canine here, which has been all marked out. So I just need to mark out where I want the wheels to go, and then we're going to cut it out and then put all components in to make it radio controlled. It's going to be tricycle gear, so 2 main wheels at the front, 1 wheel at the back, differential steering, so the steering will all be done from the front, so it's front wheel steering. The plan is it's going to be on a chain, so we've got a windscreen wiper motor which we'll be using for the motor, which will be powered by a 12-volt battery. We're going to have a 2-tier base, so the lower tier will have the wheels and the drive shaft, and then the upper tier will have the motor and also the battery. So it's going to be screwed to the base, and then say the only reason I need to take it off is if I've got to work on the wheels or the drive shaft or anything like that. So let's get cracking. To be fair with this project, I am flying by the seat of my pants, as it were. I'm aiming to use, got the radio control car here, so I'm aiming to use the differential steering. I might use the whole axle here, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm certainly going to be using the differential steering. We've got to try and get that to fit with the wheel axle. And these are the wheels, 10-inch wheels, so we've got 3 of them. So the one at the back is just going to be freewheeling, so that's easy enough. The one at the front, we've got to somehow get attached to the differential steering on here to make it all work. We've got servos which are connected to the steering as well, so I want to try and keep all the servos and stuff rather than having to replace those. So yeah, that's the plan. So really the first thing is to then cut the base, so I just need to measure that out at the moment. So the main wheels, we want the main wheels to be here, the end is going to be around here, and we'll do the same this side. So I just need to drill a pilot hole. Same on this side. Job done. I'm going to take the jigsaw and then we're going to cut around the template. I've just completed the base of K9, so I've primed it, so it's all been nicely primed. It's ready for the top coat at some point. It's going to be a tricycle arrangement, so the 2 wheels at the front are for steering, the wheel at the back is just going to be freewheeling. So I've now fitted that, just a couple of bars either side, axle running through the middle, and then just a couple of bolts just to stop it moving around too much. So that's now fitted. So the next thing is to then fit the tricycle undercarriage and the steering. So I've got to work on that next. Plenty of YouTube, I think, for now. Okay, so I've taken this differential out of my radio control car. So you've got the wheels this side. So these are the wheels, Only thing is now is obviously the differential is smaller than the diameter of the axle. So we need to get this to fit into this. So that is the next dilemma. Okay, so let's take the differential steering out of the radio control car. And I've also got a servo somewhere as well. I've taken out as well a few servos. So got some of the parts of it for now. So how is this all going to work? Right. We have the base. So the rear wheel at the back is just going to be freewheel. That's just going to turn on its own. The two wheels at the front. So you've got the wheel on an axle. We need some mechanism for the wheels to turn, and also for it to know if it wants to turn left or right. So in order to do that, we're going to need two motors. So one motor on each wheel. So the motor is going to be driven by this cog, and it's going to be on a chain. So the two wheels go either side, and then they'll go in brackets there. And then in the middle, differential steering. So I've just got to get them to fit into the small parts of that side. So at the moment, a little bit too big, so I've just got to cut it down so they can fit. So it's going to be driven on a chain. Train is going to be driven by a motor, which is going to be on a separate floor. So the motor's going to be up here, the wheel's going to be down there, and then you're going to have a chain that's going to go here to run that wheel that side, and then the same this side. And then we'll have a speed control on each motor. So if you want to turn left, for example, so this wheel will have to slow down, so we'll reduce the speed on this wheel. This wheel will stay the same speed, and then K9 will turn in that direction. So it's similar to the way a tank works. Yeah, so really, so those are all fitted, those are done. I've just got to finish making these, get these to fit, and then get to fit into the differential steering. It's my job for today. How's that going to fit? Ooh. Almost. Okay, so that's finished. So we got this end on here, which is now small, and then differential steering. And if you can see, if I put this in there and then turn that, the whole thing turns. Just going to have to be in there fairly tight, but that actually worked. Well, hey. Okay, so that's got both wheels done. So now both of them fit into the differential, and it turns. So the next thing is to get this fitted on the base. Okay, so we've got the base of K9. So we've got the free wheel at the front here, or the back, should I say. And then at the front, got the differential gear fitted. So that's now on nice and stable. And And then we've put these 2 plates either side for the axle to run through. So we've got to do another 2 plates this side, and then we've got to fit the wheels. That's going to be a little bit of a tricky bit. Going to have to put some bolts in between just to stop it trying to move out, because it's got to stay in the differential all the time. That has to be locked in there. And then brackets here for the second part of the floor. So the floor will go above here, and then we'll have access holes in for the chain to run through to the main wheels. So that's what I'm doing right now. So, and I'm just going to drill these holes. We got the sheet, so this is going to be for the second part of the floor plan. So I've got to cut this to size. Ideally I'd like to get the first floor finished first of all, and then work on this later on. But the weather at the moment is looking a little bit iffy, so I think I'll cut this out now and I'll get it all done up, because then later on, if it does start tipping it down with rain, I can then be assembling the bits for the floor inside in the dry. So let's finish that. So this is going to be the second floor, so it's going to be where the battery, all the main components, the motors are as well. So just need to give this a prime up, and then we'll measure it up for the motor end. So this is going to be the tricky part then. Getting the wheels to line up and stay with the differential gear. So that's my job for now. I'm not gonna lie, it's had its moments. It's been a little bit testing, but if I just bring this down a little bit, the first wheel is fitted, and I don't know if you can see, a little bit closer, but the differential is actually turning of its own accord, so it does actually work. Yay! Right, so this is the base. You can see that, so the wheels turn, and that actually moves the differential. So that's all now working. Put in these brackets, so these are for these, so you can attach these brackets to it like that, and that will attach to the second floor, so that'll sit about here, so that'll sit above here. we'll have the motors on top here with a chain for the teeth on the wheels. So that's the plan now. So it's to get this fitted, get all that fitted, and then work out where the motors are going to go, where they're going to sit, so we can cut holes in here for the motor. And then we just want something either side just for balance. So yes, that will be the second floor that will have all the components and the motors sitting on it. That's next. Okay, so that's the floor plan. It's changed a little bit in design, but essentially we're going to have the motors for space actually standing up on the floor, and I think I might be able to have them better as well. It'll be able to attach to the metal clips. So with the chain running down, same on this side, which will also save a bit of space as well, because there's not a huge amount of space in there when you put all the components in. And then we're going to cut out this bit in here for the wheels, because the floor sits a little bit low, and the wheel on that side as well. Right, let's get to work. There we are. So that's the finished top. So just neaten that up and we'll get it fitted. So this is the base canine. Brackets here and then brackets at the end as well. But at this end, there's nothing there, and it's a little bit. It's okay if there's nothing there, but if you've got batteries and things on there, the neck of canine, there's not really much to support it. So just for extra support, I've got a tube which I'm just going to insert. I'll drill a hole. You can see there, so we can just put that in there, which gives extra support. But just to keep it nice and still, I'm just going to bung a little bit of filler in there, and then once it's dry, can drill a hole through it just for extra support. So that's what I'm doing now. So I'm just going to mix a little bit of filler up, like so. There we go. And then just going to chuck it in the end of the tubes like this. And then same on this side. So there's a nice lot of filler in there. So we can drill a small hole either end once it's dry, and then insert a small screw in there. Right, so it's done that. Let's just leave it to dry. Okay, so this is the base of canine with the canine actually fitted on top. So you've got the wheels underneath. These screws here, just gonna take the tops of the heads off. And then we're going to rub it down and then paint it up again today. And also just going to put the screws in now. So that's the next job. So we can have the holes ready to screw the base, the bottom of canine to the base. That's my next job. Just had to nail some pilot holes in. So we'll just screw it to the base now. And that's our base, all done. Just need to rub down and a spray up. Okay, so let's rub this down. Where these are stuck up, I'm just going to go and cut those off now. and then almost ready to start spraying it. So it's rubbed down the other base, so just have this, the top part now, to give a good rub down, and get it ready for spraying, same as the bottom. And just put it all together this morning. This is it. This is the finished product. So chassis down here, so it's on a 2-tier, and then the upper tier up here. The whole point was to have the motors on the end here. So you've got teeth on the motors here, and then you've also got teeth on the wheel. This side, just trying to, you can probably see it better on the other side actually on there. So there's also one on here as well. So the whole point was the motor was going to sit there and then a chain between the two. Unfortunately, that hasn't quite worked. Best laid plans and all that, it didn't quite work out. So instead of that, I've put some brackets on the top here to hold the motor. So that's where the motor's now going to sit, on the top shelf, as it was originally planned. Tied down with cable ties, and then we'll have a chain running between two teeth, which will drive the main wheels. So it's main wheel drive, and then also the wheel at the back is just freewheel. So that's it. That's the end of part 2. We're now moving into phase 2 of the project, so that will be in part 3. Phase 2 will be involving getting the all mechanics working and getting it all radio controlled. This is Scarlett, my assistant.
And I'm going to be his next assistant next time.
So that'll be in part 3. Phase 2 of the project, getting it all working, getting it all mechanized, as it were. So yeah, looking forward to that. That's going to be a whole new skill.
Yay, I'm so excited.
Right. So that's part 3. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.